YouTube, I don't see us. Shit. Oh, maybe there it goes. Yeah. All right. We are live. Everybody's going to hear me complaining. What is going on? Welcome into the show. We have a fun one. Welcome into Edging a Win, our new show here at Grandstand Bettors. We got a fun show lined up for everyone. And everybody needs to stick around to the end because we have a great parlay that our resident person's going to give here in a second. But I just want to intro everybody. It's our first ever soccer betting live show on our channel. As many of you know, my name's Matt. I'm the creator, CEO, the single soul that runs Grandstand Bettors. But today, and every Saturday morning moving forward, I'm going to take a back seat to let this gentleman you see beside me take over on all things soccer. So please welcome in the knower of everything, as he calls it, football, expert in tomfoolery, and of course a lifelong friend from the Seven Seas, Mr. Ian Allen from Ian OUFC on YouTube. What's going on, Ian? Welcome in.
Thank you, Matt. Great to be here. Awesome to be on a live stream alongside Grandstand Bettors. We had a lot of fun during the World Cup, and it's great to come back and do some more soccer predictions, some more soccer chat. How did you introduce me at the start then? The relevant guest or something like that? What a grand title you've given me. Thank you so much. But look, it's getting to the business end of the season in a lot of the European leagues. It's really starting to hot up now, so this is like a perfect time to sort of jump in and get involved in some soccer. The bulk of the action is just about to start in just over an hour's time in the Premier League, even less than that in places like the Bundesliga. So stick with us, and maybe we'll give you some pretty good tips where you can win some cash.
We do have a fun show lined up for everyone, and stick around, as I mentioned, to the end. Ian's going to give his parlay of the day. But a couple quick items to go over before we get started, or as Ian likes to say, a little bit of housekeeping. Our social media, it is right there now on the screen for you. Please hit the subscribe button. Go over to Ian OUFC on YouTube. Follow him for all things soccer. Also, at the bottom of the screen, you're going to see the odds for the most prominent matches this weekend in soccer. If you are looking for particular game odds, you're most likely going to find it there on the bottom scrolling. And finally, during the live stream, please chat with us. Any questions that you have, I promise I'll get to each and every one of them throughout the live stream. If you're new, if you're in the chat and you're new to our channel, say hi, tell us where you're from. We love to chat with everybody in our live streams. But without further ado, I think it's time to get into our three best bets of this weekend in the soccer world. So first up, Ian, I know you're looking at the German League, which is the Bundesliga. Good match today in the early afternoon, 12:30 p.m. Eastern time slot. What you got there?
Yeah, so first best bet, we're looking at the game between Stuttgart and all-conquering, all-singing, all-dancing Bayern Munich. We're looking at Bayern Munich to beat the spread in this one. I've got them at like -2. It's coming in at about +140. If you look down on the ticker down below, you might see a price for like -1. So if you're not feeling brave enough to take them on -2, then you can. There is odds down there for -1 as well. But I think you should be brave enough to take them on -2. Look, this is a Bayern Munich side that dominates the Bundesliga. They've won the last 10 Bundesligas in a row, and this is the time of the season where they just start to purr. They just start to motor and kick into gear. They've scored more than 2 goals in 4 out of the last 5 Bundesliga games, and they've won by more than 2 goals in 3 of those games as well. You've got Stuttgart struggling down the bottom as well with only 1 win in the last 6. Look out for this star man, Jamal Musiala, who I'm still bitter about that he chose Germany over England, but he is a fantastic player, so he's going to light up any game that you watch, so check him out. But generally, I think the most shocking thing about the Bundesliga, Matt, is Bayern Munich are not top. It's a 3-horse race between them, Dortmund, and Union Berlin. Bayern Munich did beat Union Berlin quite handily last week as well, but Dortmund won last night to put the pressure on this Bayern Munich side. But usually what happens is everybody talks about possible different winner this year, and then Bayern Munich just go and rack up a bunch of wins and win it by about 5 or 6 points. Hopefully, it'll be a bit closer this year.
Yeah, I was going to mention, Bayern's not at the top. In fact, they had a bad loss, I think, 2 games ago to Mönchengladbach. I don't know how to say that. How do you say that?
Borussia Mönchengladbach.
That's why you're on the channel, because I don't know how to say those words. But yeah, that was a bad loss. It does put them 3 points behind Dortmund after that win. I think Dortmund beat Lesburg yesterday. Yeah. So it'll be interesting.
Dortmund are looking really good as well. I mean, they are going, but this is what usually happens. It usually happens is they kind of keep pace with Bayern until a certain point, and then Bayern just kick on strong and just keep getting stronger as the season goes on. So that's why I think you're reaching that time now where you're going to see peak Bayern, and they're going to start winning these games with relative ease. Yeah,
it should be intriguing. This is a good match. I do appreciate actually it being a little bit more parity in the Bundesliga. I really do hate when teams run away with it. Speaking, though, of teams that are not running away with things, we have I believe a Ligue 1 match that we want to look at as well. That's in the 2:45 Eastern time slot this afternoon. We have AC Milan and Fiorentina.
This is why I'm here, folks. This is why I'm here. This is why the host of this channel has got an Arsenal shirt on. As soon as Man City go top of the league, he'll rip it off and put that Man City shirt on. No doubt about it. We're going to Italy, Matt.
Oh, that's Italy. That's right. That's Italy.
Action between Fiorentina and AC Milan. This one's happening. It's in the evening, my time, 2:45 Eastern time. We're going for over 2.5 goals in this one. Look, we just talked about a close title race. The title race in Italy isn't looking close, despite Napoli losing last night. They are running away with it. But AC Milan still are in the hunt for Champions League spaces, and they still are in the Champions League themselves. And they're on a good run of form. They're 3 wins in a row for AC Milan. Fiorentina have been struggling a bit down the bottom, but they've also just hit, for the first time probably this season, a little bit of form themselves. Some decent results in the League and some decent results in the Europa Conference League as well. And more importantly, they're scoring goals. Arthur Cabral, a guy they bought in from Basel, probably trying to recreate a bit of Erling Haaland magic. Done pretty much nothing all season, but he's suddenly cropped up with 5 goals in the last 4 games. So that's why I think that this one was going to be over 2.5 goals, is because I just think both sides are going to score, and because you've got 2 sides in pretty good form.
Who do you think is going to take Serie A in this one? I know Napoli actually... Didn't Napoli lose yesterday to Lazio? But I think they're so far ahead.
Lazio, wonderful goal that won it for Lazio. But then, midway through the second half, beautiful goal. And then Napoli couldn't get back into it. But I mean, if Napoli blow it from this situation, that's a heck of a joke. They're quite few points clear.
I think 17, actually.
Yes.
Yeah.
That's a choke and a half, really, isn't it? If they do blow it from here, it'd be quite a spectacular meltdown if Napoli don't win the title.
It really would be. So great bet there, over 2.5. And our third best bet, before we get to some other things, all soccer around the world, we're going to look at a league that I know of very well. That is the Premier League. And right now, actually, Man City's up 2-0 on Newcastle. They are chasing Arsenal, but right behind Man City is their nemesis, Man United, who plays a good game today against Liverpool tomorrow at 11:30 p.m. Eastern on Sunday. So what are you looking at in that game, Ian?
Yeah, again, we're looking for goals in this one. We're looking for over 2.5 goals in this game. Look, this is one you're just going to want to check out, folks. It's going to be a superb game. It's going to start just before lunchtime, Eastern Standard Time, and you are going to want to get in and watch this one. When these 2 sides play, it's always exciting. It's always tense. It's 2 of the biggest and most established dynasty clubs either in the world and certainly in England going head to head. The dynamic between the 2 has flipped a little bit in recent years. In the last 2 years, it's been Liverpool well ahead of Manchester United. Now it's Manchester United who've come back this season. Resurgent side under Eric Ten Hag. So they won their first trophy in 7 years with the Carabao Cup last weekend, and they do look like the sort of side that could be the real deal, challenging for Premier League titles. They're a bit of an outside bet for it this year, I would say. But in future years, check out Man United. I think they're going to could be back to what we saw their dominant years under Alex Ferguson during the 90s, during the 2000s. And coupling up with that, Matt, Liverpool have been a bit of a mess this season. Everything that can go wrong for Jurgen Klopp's side seems to be has gone wrong, and where they really fall down is just in defence. They are hopeless at defending. Real Madrid absolutely put them to the sword in the Champions League. They ripped them apart. So expect Manchester United to create a ton of chances. Liverpool have to go be a bit gunslinger and try and get goals themselves at the other end. So expect this to be a very open, a very fun game to watch. If you want to do a couple of prop bets, just to throw a little bit out there, Marcus Rashford can't stop scoring for Man United, so smart money is on. He's going to get one. Darwin Nunez also doing well for Liverpool. He could get a goal as well. And also, don't be afraid to back Man United on the Man United outright too. But I definitely think there's going to be goals in this one, so that's why I'm going for over 2.5 goals.
Yeah.
Personally, Matt, I hope they both lose because I can't stand either team.
I'm not a big fan of either team either. Maybe they both lose, but they're still over 2.5 goals. I would love that. Quite honestly, though, both teams are in better form as of recent. In the last 4 games, neither one has lost in regulation. I think they're both 3-0-1 in their form. But I love all 3 of those bets, Ian. I'm actually headed to the casino right after this stream. I'm going to lock all 3 of those bets in. However, there are hundreds of other matches going on around the world this weekend and in big leagues. You got Arsenal Bournemouth, Chelsea Leeds, PSG Nantes, Barcelona Valencia, Real Betis, Real Madrid. Does anything kind of pop out at you in some of these other leagues that you might be looking forward to watch or betting this weekend?
Yeah, well, I mean, those games just highlighted there. Obviously, we've talked about Manchester City putting the pressure on Arsenal with their win, so we'll see how Arsenal can respond. Arsenal had a great result in midweek against Everton, big winners 4-0 in that one, so they'll be hoping that they can do the same at home to Bournemouth this afternoon. Chelsea are an absolute mess. This could be the final game for boss Graham Potter. Looking at their team sheet as well, they've got so many players out injured. It could be a real good opportunity for Leeds, who desperately need some points to steal some there. Look, and then over in Spain, you've got the top 2, the big 2 there, Barcelona and Real Madrid, fighting it out to see who's going to win it. Barcelona quite well in the ascendancy at the moment, but Real Madrid are there to strike if there are any slip-ups. And but Barca did get one over on them in the Copa del Rey in the week, winning that one as well. So those are the key ones. I think by the time Union Berlin kick off as well in Germany in about 15 minutes' time, to see if they can get over their loss to Bayern Munich and keep their title race alive.
Yeah, and not to dwell on Chelsea even more, but I am a Chelsea fan, and in all honesty, it's been a rough season to watch this team play. I do have them winning today. At first look, you might think, okay, this is going to be an easy match. They might be able to win this 3-0. I actually think it's going to be tight. I think it's going to be a 1-0 win for Chelsea, and the manager will keep his job for maybe one more week. I don't know. What do you think?
I just don't know. I think it's too tight to call. I can't back Chelsea in confidence in this one. And Leeds have got nothing to lose. They've been playing a little bit better than their results suggest of late. And Chelsea it's all just a bit of a mess. And if Leeds go and get the first goal in that one, Stamford Bridge is going to turn pretty toxic. It's going to turn on the manager, and it could be a pretty nasty afternoon in London.
Yeah. And Chelsea's really struggling to score goals. So if they get down, I'm not sure they can come back. You know where we're not struggling to score goals, though, in the soccer world? That is in Champions League. There's plenty of goals usually there. And we do, in this upcoming week, have some good matches on Tuesday the 7th and Wednesday the 8th. Ian, what are you looking at? What do you see there in those matches?
Yeah, well, obviously the game's on Tuesday. Benfica, they're 2-0 up over Club Brugge. You'd expect Benfica to kind of come through, and that one's a pretty dominant position to be in after the first leg. So I wouldn't be betting too much in that one. I just think Benfica will come through quite comfortably. Chelsea Dortmund is an interesting game though, and what I've seen quite interestingly, and you might want to close your ears on this one, Chelsea fan Matt, is Dortmund's price is quite high. They're quite good odds on Dortmund to go to Stamford Bridge and get the win, and I'm surprised at that. because this Dortmund side are in good form. You've got the likes of Jude Bellingham, who's like a Rolls Royce of a player in the midfield. And as I said, Chelsea have got, not only is it the disarray with the way the season's gone, they've got so many key players out injured as well. I think there's good money to be had on Dortmund going to Chelsea and winning that game on Tuesday. And then the big game, I'll just touch on the Spurs AC Milan one. That's a bit of a 50-50 coin flip. Spurs never know they blow hot and cold. You never know what you're going to get with Tottenham Hotspur. They will be hoping that they can turn up, the likes of Harry Kane and Son can put in a show and get through this AC Milan side. But they are a goal down, so Milan don't need to come out of fourth to pace in that one. But the big one everyone will be looking at on Wednesday is Bayern Munich, Paris Saint-Germain. Two absolute giants of clubs meeting at this early stage of the Champions League. We've already talked about how good Bayern are. PSG, it's all about their star players. Neymar may not be fit, which is a huge blow for them, but they've still got Mbappe, they've still got the man Messi, and they're capable of winning any game of football against anyone on any given day. That one should be a real classic.
It should be a great week of Champions League. Honestly, I am intrigued by the Dortmund. My thought maybe on why they're priced so high there is, they are in good form. They are in a chance of a title race there in Bundesliga. Maybe it's because they're more concerned about winning Bundesliga maybe than Champions League, or what would you put as the higher accomplishment, Champions League or Bundesliga?
I would say it's difficult to say really. I mean, Dortmund haven't won the league for such a long time that you might say that the Bundesliga might be their priority, but Champions League is like the pinnacle for European clubs these days. It really is like that kind of trumps everything in terms of the money and prestige that it brings. So, 50-50.
You could be like Man City and just be greedy and want it all. I mean, that's
exactly.
But enough about our soccer around the world, because we are from the U.S. And listen, first and foremost, I want to take a look at the MLS. I honestly, and Ian honestly, we've never had a team in the MLS that we've really rooted for, myself or him. I live in Cleveland, and Columbus is 2.5 hours away. The closest team's the Crew, and I didn't really jump on their bandwagon. Ian lives in the UK, and they do not have a team as much as the MLS is trying to put a team in Sheffield. But a friend of the channel, Vince, a college buddy of mine, he's from St. Louis. About a week and a half ago, he said they were getting an expansion team. I did not even know that. We thought, hey, as a channel, let's go all in on St. Louis SC and let them become our team. So, Edging a Win is unofficially, but officially sponsored by St. Louis FC. They're on the screen. There's their logo. So each and every week, we're going to do a quick recap of their previous match and give out an MLS best bet of the weekend. So this past week, St. Louis faced off against Austin FC in Week 1 in Austin. And in their inaugural game, St. Louis SC scored their first ever goal in the 24th minute by Parker. And it looked like they were going to head into halftime with a lead. But Drusy, an MVP candidate this season, very small odds actually, an MVP candidate, tied things up in the 49th minute and turned the momentum to Austin FC's favor. Now, things did stay tied up. It was a back-and-forth second half till the 72nd minute where Gallagher put Austin up 2-1, and things looked bleak for our St. Louis squad, but they showed us they are fighters, and I love fighters, with Stroud getting an equalizer 6 minutes later, and Klaus, what a great name, scoring the game-winning goal in the 86th minute, giving St. Louis their first ever franchise win and 3 points to head up the table in the Western Conference. Tonight, at 8:30 p.m., I will be tuned in. They will host their first ever home game against Charlotte. But what does that have to do with betting today? Not much. We're just excited about that. Today in the betting world, I'm locking in MLS, Portland and LAFC to go over 3 goals. Again, I personally watched Portland on Monday night against Kansas City. They only ended up with 1 goal, but they had 2 goals called back and a handful of shots hit the post. Portland looks fantastic offensively, and they are going to get an LAFC team that did not play last week, one of 3 teams that did not play on opening day. So find that Asian line that's not racist, that's what it's called. Find the Asian line of over 3 and take it today with LAFC and Portland having plenty of opportunities to put the ball in the net. And I know, Ian, you are hyped for the MLS.
Oh, I've got questions. Firstly, can you just explain why Klaus is such a great name?
Klaus is a great name because if you watch the show American Dad, the fish is named Klaus. It's a great name.
That's some MLS deep cuts there, folks. What I took away from that match, and personally, I am also looking towards how the English boys, management, Phil Neville and Wayne Rooney do over there with DC United and Inter Miami. But also, I took away, so St. Louis, we got a win over Stone Cold Steve Austin, and now, tonight, we're up against Charlotte. Is she any good?
Well, she's also she was a recent expansion team. I think it was last year, so not great. In fact, St. Louis SC is actually favored in this spot, which is kind of interesting, being a new team. So we'll have.
MLS for me. Look, I'm gonna jump onto it a bit more this year and pay attention. I haven't paid attention to it for the last couple of years, and just because of the time difference and stuff like that, I just don't look at it too often. But now we're on board with St. Louis, I'm going to be hyped to look at some MLS every single week.
That's fantastic. It is hard with the time difference because 8:30 tonight, I think it's 1:30 your time. So, hey, give credit to Ian as he jumps on the MLS train. But before we sign off, Ian has cooked up a parlay for you all. Ian, what do you have? This is going to be a weekly occurrence. Please tell us what's going on with your EFL parlay today.
Yeah, so I'm picking three sides, as Matthew just said, I'm picking three sides from the EFL, one from the Championship, one from League 1, one from League 2. Just put a little bit of whatever you like on it. What you call it, pizza money is what we're going to call it over here. Yorkshire pudding money. Put some Yorkshire pudding money on this one, folks. Don't put a huge amount of money. Just keeps the day a little bit more interesting. But I'm going for Sunderland to win in the Championship, Plymouth to win in League 1, Carlisle to win in League 2. Plymouth and Carlisle, both of those are going strong and very good home side. Sunderland, always a difficult side when they play at home. So I think that's a pretty good one. Could win yourself a nice little bit of money. I think that's coming in at just over plus 800. So, as I said, don't put a lot of money on. Bit of fun, and let's see if it hits.
That's awesome, Ian. I appreciate your time today. Thank you for giving us a great rundown of our best bets. I'm headed out to the casino. I'm going to put definitely all three of those bets in. And, oh, yes, and Ian, before we sign off, I think we should have a segment at every end of our show. What is Oxford going to do today?
You're going off to the casino. I'm going to endure the misery of watching Oxford United again. Oxford United struggling in League 1. Sacked their manager at the weekend after a run of terrible games, with 8 games without a win, seeing a snowball down the table. We're away at Lincoln City today. Can the Yellows readdress that form and get that win that we desperately need to cheer everybody up? We live in hope rather than expectation, but yeah. I'm looking forward to at least seeing, maybe now that they've kind of got rid of the manager, maybe a fresh, a new approach from Oxford today. Yeah. Check out my video later, and you'll see from the thumbnail how they've got on.
Hold on. Brandon said that he can't hear you, so let me see. Yeah, you might be a little silent, Ian, the whole time.
Hold on. Brandon said that he can't hear
Yeah.
you, so let me see.
It's all right. Thanks, Brandon, for letting me know. I mean, there were only 2 people watching the whole time anyway, so.
Be a little silent. Oh, that's terrible. The whole time.
We'll have to figure that out for next time.
Thanks, Brandon, for letting me know. I mean, there were only 2 people watching the whole time.
All right, that is the end of the show, though, and nobody said that for the last 20 minutes. So you were faint. We could hear you. You were just super faint. It's all good. It's all good. All right, that's it. That's it for our show. Thanks, Ian. We'll do this every Saturday. And hey, maybe next time we'll have more than 2 people watching. Thanks, Grandma. Thanks, Grandpa. Appreciate you hanging out with us. Hey, for our first show, I don't think that was awful. Ian.
There we go. That's what we strive for.
Yeah. All right. Well, thanks guys for watching. Appreciate it. Well, yeah, Brandon. Yeah. We'll fix it for next time. All right. Thanks guys. Have a great day, and we'll see you next Saturday.